Hi, Stitchers. I'm Laura.
I'm Keisha.
And we're the Pattern Queens.
Yes, we are. This is episode 20, and today is Sunday, February the 23rd, and it's nice outside.
It's beautiful.
Week.
Oh, look, I forgot to turn the one more light on.
Oh, there we
go. Get a little more light.
A little bit lighter in here.
And this is a channel about cross stitch, mainly.
And friendship, and laughter, and rambles.
And
pregnancy. Because I'm pregnant, if you didn't know. If this is your first time here, welcome.
And we think there may be some first-time people here because our number has gone way up in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, thank you to the Sunshine Stitchers for shouting us out.
Yes.
That's great. So
I love that. And so it was fun to hear Sheila talk about us, and
she said we were refreshing.
Yeah.
So, hi. We just talk about cross stitch. I'm having a baby in July. That pretty much catches us all up.
There you go. Did you have a good trip last weekend?
I did have a good trip. We went to Winterset, Iowa for my niece Lucy's birthday. She turned 8.
Oh, awesome.
So that was a lot of fun. We ate pizza and had cake, and I found out that I am now officially too old to be cool to Lucy's friends. But I'm still cool to Lucy. So that's what matters. And I have another niece named Ellie, and she'll be 2 in May. And so I just kind of hung out with her while Lucy hung out with her friends. It was fine.
There you go. Was it a Keisha themed party?
No. See, Lucy was trying to decide what the theme for her party was. So I told her to pick something that she'd like. And her first thought was Keisha. And I was like, I mean, that's flattering.
That's adorable. I love that.
It ended up being cat themed, but my sister-in-law, Keisha Stitches here on Flosstube, she teased me and said that she thought about just making one Keisha mask.
Okay, so cat themes. So what you got from me was perfect, right?
It was perfect. Yeah. Last week, Laura gave me one of her Booksleeves from Love You More that had a cat unicorn on it. So it was perfect.
I hope we used the right name, Kitty Corn, right?
Yes, Kitty Corn.
Because Katie said Unikitty, and then I'm like, oh no, is that what it was supposed to be? And I'm like, no, it's Kitty Corn. I know it's Kitty Corn.
Yep. That's what Lucy called it whenever we got her one last summer when she came to visit us.
So my week this week with Flosstubers were kind of my usual suspects. So I caught up a little bit with Michelle. I watched the One More Homesteading on the Home Front, and I watched Friday Off the Grid and oh my gosh, Off the Grid Needle Arts with Caroline, and saw all the cool things she's doing. Watched her one from the car, which was funny. And then I also watched Sister Stitchers, who had taken kind of a hiatus, and I didn't realize they had come back. I mean, I know that I get the little notices in my email, but I get so many little notices from YouTube in my email that I don't always check it very carefully.
Right.
So I spent the week catching up with them since January, and they have made a video every week since then.
Awesome.
So, and if you aren't familiar with them, they are in Texas, and they used to not live in the same city, and one of the sisters taught the other sister to cross stitch, and so one has not been stitching very long.
Oh, cool.
But they have all sorts of projects. They're both doing magical stitches. They're both doing Whip Go with Jessie Marie. So you get to see a ton of projects from them.
Awesome.
And they're really eclectic like we are.
Cool.
So
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch any Flosstubers this week. It was kind of a sleepy week this week. I would go home, I'd stitch a little bit and watch TV with my husband, but then about the time he went to bed, I went to bed too. And usually I watch Flosstube after he goes to sleep. He works overnight, so that's usually when I get my time in, but I was just tired this week.
That's why you need to know that Keisha's pregnant.
Yes.
She is just sleeping. So, and the other exciting thing with the baby, do you want to tell that?
Yeah. Okay. So I felt the baby kick for the first time last Sunday. We were driving back from Iowa, and it's about 2.5 hours up to Winterset, and we were coming home, and I guess the baby had just had it with the seatbelt being over him, because I just felt like a couple little pops, and I was like, oh, there he is. So,
that's exciting though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Makes you feel like there's really, truly something going on.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not sick for no reason.
That's always a bonus. Yeah. So do you have any finishes this week?
I don't have any finishes this week.
Guess what? I am a crazy person. I had spun things that I was really more than happy to work on, and I'm not going to spin this week. I'm going to pull those out. But here's the one that I didn't take out. Sorry, Gary, if you're watching, I'm pulling something out of plastic. My first one is a start and a finish. Wow. I mean, this is my finish for the week. Every summer, Chris Ann and Julie have Summer of Starts, and there's a Facebook group called Summer of Starts, but it's also a hashtag on Instagram. And they start a new project every weekend between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Oh, okay. And Julie works in the school system, and that way she doesn't have to worry about starting anything new during the school year. Right. She can just pick up one of the zillion whips that we start during the summer. And I messaged in the group and said, it's President's Day weekend. Doesn't that count? Can't we just start something? And Julie said, well, I'm starting something for this and for this and for this. Sure. Why not? So, and it encouraged me to have a few more starts too. So this is like I guess this is the second one that I started because Tuesday was Chris Ann's birthday. Oh. And Julie said she was doing a start for Chris Ann's birthday. I posted 3 charts, let Chris Ann choose. She chose this, which is the Judy Becker sampler from the Sunflower Seed. I have had this forever. I love it. It's from, I want to say 2003 is what I saw on here. And I pulled out a piece of fabric from Silk Weaver. I believe it's a solo, but it very much looks like their Days Gone By to me because it's that rich goldish warm color. And I'm just trying to straighten the edge out a little bit more. But this is it. It was a start and a finish. And is that cool? I just love it. So I did my usual thing. Do you see that the J, K, L, and B are all in red? They are not charted that way. This chart only has 2 colors. It has onyx. That's how much onyx I ended up with. Wow. That's the last 2 strands. And I was using 2 strands at a time. So I used part of this. Right. And the other color is rum raisin. I don't know if you'll be able to say that's the red one. Oh,
yeah. It doesn't really look red in the bag, but it definitely looks red on your fabric.
So here's the funny thing. Onyx that I'm using in this, that it called for, is from Weeks Dye Works. And Katie and I ran out to picture this plush yesterday, and I said, I just finished this yesterday. Right. I think I'm going to run out because I'm down to like just nothing. So we bought some onyx.
Oh, no.
Look at this. Make sure you check because they both have. Now, these are really, really close. But when I checked them out, they are not exactly the same.
No, because onyx kind of has like a green-brown shift in it.
Yeah, and this one...
or the Gentle Arts one does.
Yeah, and this one was more... Oops, I'm flipping things. This one was definitely more brownish. Well, you can see on there. More brownish. And it had like light and dark patches of brown. So Katie's like, oh no, are you going to make it till the end? And I said, you know what? I'm going to save the year down here for the end. And if it's different, that'll be okay. But I am just going to power through. I had to do... I think I still had C, D, and E and a couple stitches on F left to go. And I made it. And, you know, some of these letters are huge.
Right.
But it's done.
Wow.
So a start and a finish.
Amazing.
So that was mine for the week.
Wow.
Did you happen to get any stash this week?
I did not.
You had kind of an interesting week, right? Where you were just busy and tired.
I was just busy and tired. I guess I didn't really do much of anything on President's Day because I had the day off work. I just stayed home and stitched, and that was kind of my relaxed day. And then just work and tired.
You did get your Halle Bunga, which we took your name. Oh, that's what was on your tray.
Yeah, I saw. I'll show you guys.
So we took your name, the name you suggested, and just morphed it a little.
So this is one of the new Love You More sleeves. And it has dogs surfing on it. And one, I love dogs. 2, I love things that make me laugh. So I guess it's Halle Bunga.
And the inside is beautiful. I love this.
Look at that. It looks kind of like waves.
I kept trying to buy it, and it wouldn't go with anything we were picking up. Right. And we picked this up, and I'm like, ah! And Katie goes, Mom! And she pulled it out because she knew what I wanted to go in it.
So I'm definitely going to have to find some fun project to put in this because I just love it. Some summer
thing, right?
I just love it. It doesn't even have to be summer. It'll just be something that I like because I love this sleeve. So.
Something else to make you laugh, right?
Perfect.
So my stash, we went out there because they called me and told me that they had floss in for us, and I thought it was the one floss that I've been missing for a project. No, it was boxes and boxes and boxes of floss for the Show Me retreat.
Oh gosh.
And the other thing that came in was autumn salt boxes. This is my last one of the Salt Shaker series from Plum Street Samplers. So now I have my autumn salt boxes. Really love them. I'm trying to decide if I really want the white around everything. Katie and I talked, and we thought maybe I could just put a border around, maybe just around the top 3 sides, the 2 sides and the top. Because I don't think the bottom, I don't know, we've kind of played with different things.
It looks like a photograph though.
Yeah. And I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to. I don't know. So
you just want to put it on a fun fabric.
And then I got my very first. I thought you would maybe have this. So I don't even need to take. I guess I could do it. I got my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month.
Oh yeah, I need
my
to check
first one, and mine is Belfast 32 count Serenade, and it's kind of. I think it's purple. But it's kind of a purpley gray. Like in here, it's showing a little more gray, don't you think?
But in person, it definitely looks more purple.
Is it looking more purple when I get close?
No, not really. It just looks kind of gray.
But it is beautiful.
It is very pretty.
And I am really excited. And I hope I didn't just spoil your Color and Cotton.
That's okay, because I have... I signed up for brights or neutrals, pretty much whatever. So it could be, and I would be really happy if I got that color. So that's
good,
okay.
Good. It's really, really pretty, and I was so excited. I came home yesterday, and it was laying here.
Oh, see, I haven't checked the mail in a few days, so.
I was just like squealing.
So exciting.
Okay, so then I wanted to tell you. Oh, we're gonna do our whips.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to go first?
You could go first.
I'll go first.
I'm gonna get a drink.
Okay. Let me get
I've already done 2 videos this morning. I'm a little dry.
I've done 0 videos, but I would also like to drink. Okay, so I started, I didn't really start the week off with this, but we had some car time, and I always like to work on mill hills in the car because it's easy to stitch on the perforated paper. And this is actually what I spun to work on last week. So this is Moonlittreaters from Mill Hill.
I love this one.
And I didn't get a whole lot done in the car, but I worked a little bit on this side. So I
look how cute.
So I've almost got the bottom done, except for the beads that'll go on there. So
now, is this the one that you said is more stitching and not as bead heavy, or was that is that your retreat piece?
I think that's my retreat piece.
Okay.
This one has quite a few beads in it, but it's completely full coverage, so. But anyway, so that's where that's at. And then the next thing I worked on was my Cochran Hollow, Christmas at Cochran Hollow. We work on that on Thursdays, but I also worked a little bit on the January block because we're allowed to work on the previous month's blocks whenever the month is
These
over.
are random rules that we've made for ourselves.
We just came up with them. And this is also Christmas at Cochran Hollow, so actually there's like no actual months on it. It's just in different blocks, so I assigned each one a month. So anyway, I worked a little bit on this on Thursday, but I worked on this one last Saturday after we filmed.
So pretty.
So here's January. I got a lot of that peacock in. I didn't have that in the last time I showed it to you. And then over here is the February block. You can kind of see where they start and stop. I didn't get much done on February because neither of us went to Panera this week, did we? I
passed out. I came in to change and just passed out. I was tired.
Yeah, I was pretty tired that day, so I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna come today, and I took a nap when I got home, and I woke up and worked maybe an hour on this, and then went back to sleep. So, so not a whole lot of progress was done. And then,
what you spun, right?
what I spun now, and I'll kind of talk about this later on too, but I have been doing this thing where I put all of my whips on a wheel and I spin the wheel on camera so that you guys can hold me accountable. And I spun maybe my least favorite one last week, and which is fine. It's one that I'm doing as a gift, but it's 3 strands of floss on black Ada, and it looks really cool, but it's just kind of a bear to work on. So anyway, it's the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is a card from Yu-Gi-Oh. This is what it'll look like when it's finished. And then let me get to the picture of where I started, because I feel like I made some pretty good progress on it this week. I already had 1 page started. This is kind of where I was at on the 2nd page. Sorry for the glare. It's kind of bright outside. That's where I started.
One of the non-benefits of the bright day, right?
And then this is where I ended up. So I got quite a bit done over on this side. Like
you did good.
I got quite a few stitches in. So I'm happy for the progress. Because any progress is progress on something like this. So
that really is how you feel a lot of the time, isn't it?
Right. Especially on this one. But I was happy to get some good progress on it. My brother is going to absolutely love it whenever I finish it. So that's the thing that's pushing me through, really. And then yesterday, I worked on my piece that I'm going to be giving away at the Show Me Retreat this year.
Oh, I love that.
Aqua Bird from Mill Hill. And this is one of the Mill Hills that's on fabric. So that's kind of interesting. I've never done a Mill Hill pattern on fabric before. And then the fabric came with the kit. So this is where I am on that. And last time I showed it to you, I had this part done and this part like halfway done. So I've got in quite a few stitches.
So you got all of this top part done this week? Awesome.
Well, and that was just last night. I only worked on this yesterday. So
wow.
Anyway.
Okay, so talk a little bit about this, because most stitchers like my age would probably have the hoop this way.
Okay, so the reason why I do that is because I touch the front of it less. If you have it like this and you're holding it in your hands is always on top of it. So by having it like this, I hold onto the hoop and I don't touch the fabric as much. Also, if you're working and you get like close to the edges, it's easier to finish off your thread on the back because you have this flat surface. So that's why I stitch like that.
Okay. Because, I mean, I know when I saw you doing that the first time, I'm like, huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically so I touch it less, so you don't get your fabric as dirty. Because, I use a lot of lighter colored or more neutral colored fabric, and I don't want to stain it or get it sweaty or something like that.
So there's a good tip for you, and it's something different to try. And like I've been farting.
Ooh. Well, that's not a stitching issue, unless you're stitching with friends.
I've been fighting my arthritis. There, they went together. You get that now?
All right, there we go.
I've been fighting my arthritis, and I've been thinking about different ways that I can take care of some things.
Yeah.
And I may be looking for a floor stand or a lap stand or something, so that instead of stitching with my right hand all the time, I can learn to stitch with my left hand and do that and just give my right hand a break.
Right.
And I might try holding something, but I would even kind of like to just give it a complete break where I don't use my right hand at all.
Yeah, that would be good.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, that's what I worked on this week.
And now that I've made you laugh, my day is complete.
You never know what's going to happen here.
Okay, what I did this week. So I told you that I wanted to have a President's Day weekend start, and I thought, oh, well, that means I should start something patriotic. Oh. And I do not have a lot of patriotic going, but I have a lot ready to go. I've had this in my stash for a long, long time. It's My Heart Beats True from Waxing Moon Designs, and I've had it, all of the threads pulled for a long, long time, but didn't pull any fabric. And in this bag that I have a couple of pieces of Heroic from Picture This Plus.
I love that fabric.
And my family decided I would use this one, which is the 32 count. My 28 count is an opalescent.
Oh, right.
But it's a really pretty piece of fabric.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you'll get of it. And okay, so it is not exciting when I start it. And kind of what I've decided, because it's all of these big long rows, that is already 2 links. I gotta get both hands on. Which one's not on? Yeah.
Here, I'll do the other side for you.
So 2 long links. Anyway, they're not shorter. You know, they are longer links of floss. And I've already used all 6 strands on both of them.
Wow.
Now I'm using 2 strands together so that I get good full coverage.
Right.
But that means 6 times I have done this. And I'm out of the floss on that.
Wow.
So I have decided that what I'm going to try and do is pull this out every day and put in 1 length of floss. So I will do 3 passes of the floss and see if I can get them in. And, you know, I have to pay attention because the little spots in there are beads.
Oh.
And I will go back and do the back stitching on top of it. But that's going to be a lot. And the white is even bigger. I'll probably put the words in first when I get to the white and then just stitch around them. But it's going to take a while. And I quickly realized that, and I thought, I do not want to burn out on this.
Yeah.
So I think if I just will play and try every day, I don't have to every day. I haven't done it every day this week because I got excited about Judy Becker and finished her. But anyway, then on the 20th, my new start on the 20th, Lisa Pearl, this is your fault. I saw her post that she was starting her Funky Bird from Barbara Anna Designs.
I love this.
And I looked and looked for a piece of fabric and finally found that I had this Color and Cotton limited edition that I had gotten at Galleria. And I pulled it out, and it is pretty close. They walnut stained theirs afterward. And this one is already, I don't know how much you can see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And one of the only colors I had was the color for the alphabet. So I started with that.
Right.
And it looks so tiny to me.
It does.
But I really like how it's looking against that fabric.
Yes.
And I was going to change colors and make it more me. And Katie said to me, I really like those colors. And I thought, well, okay, I do too. I'm just going to leave it.
Barbara Anna is so good with her colors.
Yeah. And so part of what I did yesterday was I went and picked up, I'm just going to let you peek down on the bottom. I picked up the colors that I needed. You can't really see anything. They're all in there. But I picked up the colors I needed, and I really think they're all DMC.
Oh, nice.
But I couldn't find them in any of my stash.
Huh.
I didn't dig through individual projects,
Right.
but you know. So that was, how many starts are we up to? 3. Then I talked about this, and there's a group doing the Baby It's Cold Outside Sal in honor of Leanne from Lost In Floss, who recently lost her battle with breast cancer, I believe. And I pulled mine out and realized that I had started it and yanked it right back out. So I restarted mine. And I'm going to leave my needle in here because it's telling me where I need to pick up and finish crossing those white stitches. So I am doing this on this gorgeous piece of fabric from Silk Weaver. And I didn't leave it out, so I don't know what it is. My only problem is that these houses, these panels on the house and the outbuilding here are, you leave it blank in between stitches. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do to kind of give it that same feel, I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm going to try just doing half stitches in the same color and see if that works. Or I thought maybe I could go through and maybe use the brown that I'm using for the lettering and use do a half stitch in between all of the red stitches for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play with a couple things, see what comes up. But this is about how big the piece is.
Wow.
Just, I started pretty much in the middle, and when I got here, then I just pulled out to both sides. I have a little bit of border that goes past it, but no more than 10 stitches. So it's not a huge piece. But I'm happy to have it started.
Yeah, definitely.
So how many starts was that?
Oh, so many. I didn't start anything new this week.
And I did work a little bit on Cochran Hollow. I told you last week that I was wanting to come up with a red. And so most of what I did this week is that Katie and I went shopping and I bought a whole bunch of reds. I didn't use those. I ended up looking at the ones I kept thinking I wanted, and they worked perfectly.
Oh, nice. That's good.
So I pulled out that heart and put it back in two of the reds. And actually, I got the inside in fine, and then it was the light red. And then instead of using the dark red, I had used the medium red around the outside. So I had to pull it out again and put it back in. But I also put the waves in the water.
Yeah.
And the waves are green. Is that the funniest thing? But I don't think you noticed that.
No.
And obviously I think those reds are going to work really well.
I think so.
With all of that orangey stuff. So
yeah.
Now definitely. I can play and just put it in wherever I want it. I feel pretty confident about the 3 I've picked. And if anybody else wants to know, I'm using DMC for everything. So what I am using is DMC 8, 14, 15, and 16. Okay. And I think there's one more. I think there's 8, 17, but I don't have it pulled out. So those were things that, if you want to change and you don't want it to be orangey, try those colors.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Mine is probably because of my fabric colors. So just play. I had several different reds that would work really nicely with the group.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
And those are my whips. Was that enough?
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
I feel like we both had a lot of whips this week.
We did.
We both touched a lot of things.
So I mean, last week I felt like we had 2 things each.
Right.
And this week we have
everything.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about Frogwarts. The deposit date is coming up. It's set as March 1st. Katie and I are extending that to March 15th.
Oh, nice.
We're wanting to make sure that people have a chance to get their deposit in. And it's a $50 deposit. The total fee is $180. We have had some things come up at the hotel, and we may end up moving hotels, but there are other hotels right in the area.
Right.
We won't have any problem.
Yeah, there are a ton of hotels in that area. I'm not really sure why. I guess just because it's off of a major interstate.
Yes.
There are a whole bunch.
Well, and the stadium's out there.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So I think they're out, like the team stays someplace close by and all that. But anyway, we have been getting our donations, talking about all sorts of different things. First and foremost, it is a stitching retreat. I keep saying that. Katie and I sat and actually counted because we have our swag planned. And out of, I think there are about 10 things in the swag box. Now I'm guesstimating here. But out of that, 3 things are, how do I say this? Let's say it this way. They're branded.
Oh, okay.
So, but anybody would be able to use them.
Right.
And it wouldn't, I mean, if you have a real aversion to Harry Potter, then you're going to have something that's branded and you're going to have to find somebody to give it away to. But everything else in the box has a reference to Harry Potter. So, like if I had something, I could call something the Golden Snitch. And if we had fabric, I could call it Golden Snitch fabric.
But it's really just gold
yellow fabric. Yeah. So anybody could use that. You don't have to call it that same name. So we thought we would say that just so that you get an example of what's going on. And the big excitement is that we are sending Michelle Bendy a sample retreat in a box.
Ooh, I got to see some of it, Michelle. It's pretty cool.
We have the whole thing put together, and we're pretty happy with it. I mean, it's temporary packaging because it was for one person.
Right.
But we did get our label in, and the label looks really cool.
Awesome.
They're laying right in that little white box right over there.
I can't see inside the little white box.
And if you watched our video this morning in the Show Me group, you saw it.
Oh, I didn't get a chance because it popped up when I was about to brush my teeth, and it was 18 minutes long, and so I was like, that's not gonna.
That's because Katie and I rambled. But anyway, so if you watch, it's St. Patrick's Day themed. If you watch Michelle Bendy, she will be posting some things about it once she gets it. And then Katie and I, Katie's taking some pictures of the things.
Oh, awesome.
And we will have some pictures posted on our Instagram, on my personal Instagram, on our Show Me and our Frogwarts Instagram. So you'll be able to see what kinds of things came in the box.
That's cool.
And not every box will be exactly the same, but we have a formula. So, like we have an A, B, C, D, whatever. And we choose so many from each category. Yeah.
So if you're not able to come to the Frogwarts Retreat in July, then you can get a retreat in a box, which is the option I'm going to opt for because who knows when this baby's going to get here. And I want the swag.
And we've had a lot of fun planning with it because cross-stitch designers and makers are very excited when they see a new idea for retreats and things, and they all want to be on the boat.
Oh, that's
They're
awesome.
excited about this retreat in a box. They want to help. They want to do it.
Cool.
So
that's
we'll put out a Show Me box. We will put out, and that's up on our website, on our Love You More website. We're putting out a Frogwarts box. The boxes, you can buy them anytime. They will not be shipped until pretty much the retreat time because you're not going to spoil it for my people coming to retreat. But then we will have a couple more boxes. I know we're doing an Advent box in the fall. Michelle, did you hear that? An Advent box.
I love to get a present every day.
Yes. So we're working on what we'll do for that and how it will look, but it will be an Advent retreat in a box.
Wow.
So
exciting things for people who can't make it to retreats.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a big time commitment or even just like a travel commitment. Like it's quite a bit. So that's awesome.
That's it.
Wow.
Okay. You want to talk plans?
Okay.
I got to have a drink now that I talked that long.
All right. So my plan is to spin this wheel like I have for the past few weeks. I have every whip that I am currently working on this wheel that I haven't already spun. The rules are I work on it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I skip Thursday because that's Cochran Hollow day, and then I work on it again on Friday, and then Saturday is for me to stitch on whatever I want to stitch on. So whatever I spin is what I work on. So, and you have to hold me accountable. So here we go. It's spinning.
And who did that? That was lovely.
Oh, Fireflies. It's another Mill Hill day.
Oh,
another Mill Hill
awesome.
This is one of the smaller Mill Hill kits. Like it's a really small piece of perforated paper. It's more ornament size.
Oh, and it's kind of got a glow in the background, right? Okay.
So, I don't have a current picture of that one, but it's, I don't know. I could finish it this week. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you saw this one.
Yes, I did see that. Okay, so last week on our video, I told you guys, I was like, give me all the thumbs down if I do not work on Blue Eyes White Dragon, since I told you it's one of my big struggle pieces. And we had a comment from Sarah Brown. Hello. And she's like, Keisha, are you working on it? So thank you for holding me accountable. I did work on it.
And she said it in the nicest way, didn't she?
Yes, but every time I see something like that, it's like, are you working on it? Yes, I am.
Okay, and since I went crazy and had startitis last week, I'm going to stick with the two that I pulled, Strawberry Town and Black Pearl.
All right.
But I wanted to tell you guys that coming up next Saturday.
Yeah, Leap day.
We're going to have a stitch together in Blue Springs, and a group of us have decided that we are going to start Night Walk Down from the Blue Flower. It's really beautiful. And when I was at Galleria, Teresa helped me, Kitten Stitcher, helped me, and I have the fabric that it was actually stitched on. 40 count
That's
shrinking
awesome.
violet.
Wow.
And mine is the linen. So, and then the colors in it, I mean, there are a bunch, but that's also what I bought yesterday. So anything that is not DMC is in it. Let's see if I can kind of get...
I should have thought ahead and asked you to get the stuff for that for me so I could start.
Oh, yeah. And I did message you.
I know.
But
Laura's
I didn't...
like, we're going. Do you need anything? And I said, oh, not off the top of my head. I forgot we were starting this, so I don't have anything for it, except for the pattern.
Well, you know.
It's okay. It'll be fine. I don't really need to start anything new right now anyway.
It's, oh my gosh, look at that color palette.
This one is so beautiful.
Let's see now if I can get a hold of everything. I think I can, the way I laid it out.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow. Oh
Do I have
my
it all on?
gosh.
Yeah. Isn't that pretty?
That purple is going to look so good.
I'm really excited about this.
Wow.
So I have all of my colors for it, and I have my little bags. I'll get them all bagged up. I'm ready to go. Oops, this way. There it is. One more time, Night Walk Down. So if any of you have this or have time to get this before next week, and you want to do a stitch along with a bunch of us, then this is what we're starting on Leap Day.
Wow.
Because I need to start another project now.
Well, if you're starting all the projects, you might as well just keep starting them.
And especially one that's 256 wide by 151 high. Look at this pattern, you guys. Can you see that? It is a book.
Wow.
It'll be great. But I'm going to give you just a peek maybe at this word, because I just want you to see.
Oh,
this is the size of the printing in here.
Yeah, it's just printed really large.
And I think that's really nice, because sometimes we have tired eyes.
Yes.
So I did hear some of my you said really large. I did hear some of the people in the Flosstubes that I've been watching talking about an app. But you have an Apple phone, don't you? And I think it's only for Android right now. That it will find all of the color that you're on, like on a Haid.
Yeah. I think the one that you're talking about is called Pattern Keeper.
Yes.
That's one of the big ones that I've been hearing about. And so, yeah, I looked and it's not for iOS yet, but I have something similar that's called Easy PDF. And it will actually find a symbol for you too.
Awesome. I just thought that was the best thing.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, especially if you're a person who color completes on a larger project. It's good for that.
So if you're an Apple user, it's
Easy PDF. I can show you what the...
And I just thought that was a great thing, because people were talking about...
this one here. So you can kind of see Easy PDF Reader.
I just know that people sometimes struggle with, it's so much confetti, how do I figure it out?
And on, at least I don't really know about Pattern Keeper because I haven't used it. I've thought about maybe trying to download it onto my Kindle, but with Easy PDF you can highlight what you've done as well. So I always do that too. So, because sometimes it's hard whenever you're doing a full coverage piece, especially something like a Haid, to keep track of where you're at, because I'm not much of a pattern marker. Like, I don't really mark off things unless it's huge.
About the most I do is I find the center, and sometimes I will highlight that. So if I ever gift you a pattern after I've finished with it, you may have a dot right in the middle, which means you don't have to go find the middle. I've done it for you. And it's just one little dot, so I never worry about that. But this is the rest for my bird now, since we did that.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Those are really good colors.
It's pretty. It'll be fun. But that's that's my plans this week. I'm going to work on Strawberry Town and Black Pearl.
And I'm working on Fireflies.
And I'm going to try and keep working on the other 3 that I started. And see what else. And I need to work on my friend Debbie's piece so that I keep that moving forward. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of stitching in my day.
Lots.
I sewed yesterday, so I am stitching today.
Awesome. Well, we've got to clean our house. The in-laws are coming to visit next week, so that's exciting. I love it whenever they come, but we've got to clean house. Get their room ready.
That'll be fun.
All right.
So, okie doke. I think that's about it for this week.
I think so.
So,
Bye.
bye.
Have a good week.